All right, Quarantine Jiu-Jitsu, day 6. James Gray here again with Master Juan Perez. We taught a high-level class yesterday. We went over a Twister series. We taught, the Twister finish, calf slices, and a lot of variations to be able to get to there, ways to break people's grip, ways to be effective with using the Twister. So with today's class, we thought we would teach ways to get to the Twister entry. So from a bunch of different positions, using that knee control to get us into the start of the Twister. You'll hear a lot of people use this term called the truck, and that's what this is called. We're going to be using the truck to get to the Twister, and then you can use any option that you learned in the last video. If you're still developing your Twister finishing, I wouldn't even start with this video yet. First, learn how the position works and the dynamics of the control and how to attack. Once you do that, come back to this video and let's learn a bunch of different ways to attack. Okay, so we're gonna try to keep a real simple method here because these rolls are gonna put us all over the mat.
Yep.
So each one we show, we're gonna show 3 times from a different angle. We're gonna go one facing this direction, one away from the camera, and one towards my right. After that point, if you find an angle that you need to see the work, just rewind and replay the video because as you'll see, we're gonna be rolling around on the mat in all different positions. All right, so let's start. We're gonna start with probably the easiest Twister roll that I have all my students learn, which is when someone quarter captures you from the mount position. I had mount, Master Perez is able to get to his side and trap one of my feet. I'm gonna use that as an entry for my Twister. Okay, so I have the mount position. We'll start facing this side. Yep, you're good, slide down. So we're gonna be here, like this, and my opponent is going to use the quarter capture. He's going to get all the way onto his hip, and he's going to step his outside heel over my foot and pull it in and trap it. Once he's trapped it, he's going to clamp this knee down to prevent me from pulling my foot back out. If at any point he was to take the lock off, I'm just going to roll my foot back over and take mount. But if I recognize that my foot is trapped, this is a great time to try this Twister roll, or a lot of people commonly refer to these as ninja rolls. Okay? So let's start with this one. My knee's still out, but now my foot is trapped. I no longer have the mount position. Although Master Perez has created a lock on my foot, I actually want to reinforce his lock. If you can see my foot, I'm going to take my foot and I'm going to lock it onto the leg that has trapped my foot. So I'm not going to leave my foot loose. You're going to see me bite onto here so that if during the roll he tries to take off the pressure, I can keep control of his leg. The first step is probably the simplest. Either my hands will be on my opponent or I could post on the mat, but I'm going to turn and I'm going to sit my weight on the lock, reinforcing it further. So I'm going to turn, I'm going to sit like this. So initially I'm facing my opponent in the mount. I'm going to turn and sit where he has my foot trapped. Turn, sit. Piece of cake, right? When you're first learning this roll, don't worry about your upper body control and don't worry about using your other limbs. Just learn to manipulate their body with the trapped foot. So I'm going to turn and I'm going to roll over my right shoulder. So my right shoulder is going to tuck under my left leg. I'm going to do this first time slow. I'm going to go under my left leg, and as I go upside down, I'm going to carry my foot all the way across. And we have the back mount here, and we can start attacking, okay? Each time I do this, I'm gonna go to the back mount, but obviously you could go immediately into a calf slice, you could go immediately into a Twister series, anything you'd like, okay? So we're gonna show these from different angles. Here, same thing. I'm like this, I'm dominating the match. Master Perez gets the side, steps his foot over, sucks my foot in, he pinches it down, I can't free my foot back out. I'm going to use my foot to re-secure the lock. So if you can't see what happened, I'm just engaging my foot. I'm going to then turn and sit on the lock. Once I sit in the lock, I'm forcing him to keep the advantage that he created. My right arm rolls under my left leg, and I'm trying to do this roll as slow as possible to make it make sense. I don't roll near his back at all. If you roll by the back, it's going to be very hard to manipulate him. It's almost like I'm just trying to go in a circle around his legs. Here, here. I'm ready to attack. Let's come back. I hope we're on video.
Oh, yeah.
Last one. Spin all the way. Let's shoot it from the other angle. Okay, so we're here. Slide over a little bit. Like I said, I hope that we're on camera, but there's a lot of motion with these. Last time, Master Perez gets all the way to the side. He steps his foot over, traps my foot in, and pinches his knee down. I can't free my foot, okay? My hands, I'm gonna turn, and I'm gonna reinforce the lock. Just remember that whichever side that your foot is trapped on, you have to sit on that. So always turn away from it. Lock your foot into the position. Here, turn, sit. You're in this position. Slow motion. Right arm, left leg. Under, kick it across. Back. And you can attack. Make sense? Master Perez, anything you feel in there? Any questions you have? Anything that you think someone at home might want to ask about?
You can also go for the twister from there.
Oh, absolutely. Every one of these that I show, I'm going to be moving you guys just to the back mount, but you have the twister hook, you have the truck position. You can immediately go into the twister. I don't need to go to Master Perez's back. I can cut the roll short and immediately attack twister. I can go calf slice. I can, let's do one from each side and I'll actually stop twister too. Or I'll stop right at the twister so they can see what we're talking about. And then we'll go to our next one. Okay? So let's do that so you guys can understand. So the first one we did, you were facing this way. Sorry, it's a lot of motion. Here, Master Perez onto his left hip, steps his foot over, sucks the foot in. I'm trapped, right? Make the lock. You should all be able to see my foot. Loose, not engaged, locked. Turn, sit down on the leg. Okay? From this position, I can use my arms to manipulate his other leg. There's many things I can do, but first I want you guys to learn this just with your body mechanics and this grip. I'm keeping my right heel squeezing into my butt the entire time. So as I'm here, as I start to roll, I keep this squeeze. Keep it, keep it, keep it. Instead of going for his back, I would shoot this arm through. Why do I shoot the arm through? To block Master Perez's shoulder. I would make the lock on his leg with my legs. I would go to the crown of the head and pull for the finish. Make sense? We'll do it from the other two positions and we'll go to our next one. I think that's a great idea actually, because then they can see the twister out of there. Right? Okay, here, like this, Master Perez gets to his hip, traps my foot. I'm gonna do the same thing. My foot locks on. I come up and sit down. I'm reinforcing the lock. As I roll over the shoulder, keep your foot squeezed. Shoot your arm through, catch the crown of the head. What do my feet have to do? They have to double up, knees turn in, pull, finish. Last one. This is a video that you guys will love if once you get this, but it might take some time. Let's go a little further just to make sure we don't go off camera. Okay, so here, again, I was in mount. He turned to the side, he quarter captures my foot. My foot engages. I come up, I reinforce the lock. I'm sitting on it, right? Right arm underneath. Watch my right arm shoot as I roll. Not yet, not yet. Right now, see as I see his hip, I shoot my arm in the front. Secure, like this, got the submission. Make sense? And remember, that's into the twister. You can grab the calf slice. You could cut it short and not even have to get to his upper body. You could go right to your banana split. You could do the calf slice that I showed you in the last video with your leg. You can do any finish you want once you learn the roll. Okay, and each one of these rolls I showed today, I'm gonna be just focusing on learning how to manipulate with the leg. Later on, I'll teach a video about like re-securing or compounding the lock effect of the ninja roll. There's ways to control. My right arm will have a job, my left arm will have a job, I'll reinforce with my other leg. But until you learn the mechanics of the movement, you're not gonna be efficient at hitting these. So with all my students, I always have them learn with just their leg first. Then I can teach you more ways to secure the other leg or lock it first or prevent your opponent from disengaging. But first, learn why does it work. Okay, so that's our first one of the day. We're gonna look at our second one. This is probably the most traditional way it was taught. It's from reverse side control. And we're gonna use this same exact concept with the leg. And what you'll notice through this class is the moment you learn how to manipulate the leg and the knee correctly, you'll be able to do all of these. It's the exact same concept, just applied in different positions. Okay, so the side control one. Let's have you lay with your legs on this side first. Yeah, I think this will be the most easy for them to see. Okay, so I'm in side control with my opponent. I'm here like this, and I'm gonna move to reverse side. I'm gonna pummel my top hand through this gap, okay, like I'm trying to grab his hip. and I'm gonna block his armpit with my elbow. Once I've done that, my hip is gonna slide towards Master Perez's hip, and I'm gonna push myself back like I'm trying to crowd his head. So now my hand is controlling his hip on the far side, and my knee is in place on this side. If Master Perez already has this leg up, I won't have to do the first step. I can already just pull my foot, but a lot of opponents are gonna have this foot up here, and the reason they have this knee up is they're hoping to prevent you from mounting them. Okay, they don't want you to step over and take them out. So you're gonna take your free hand, and you're gonna push this leg down. When you push this leg down and you're holding it to the mat, a lot of the times they're gonna bring the other leg up. If they didn't bring that leg up, you would just step over and mount them, right? So we're playing off them trying to not get mounted. My hand is gonna go from this knee, so I'm gonna come over and catch the top of this leg. As I catch this, I'm gonna pull my heel into position to create the lock. Now again, like I said, later on I'll teach you how to like fully lock this. If I lock this here, Master Perez cannot pull that leg free. You feel that, Master Perez?
Yeah.
But I want you to learn this with only your heel in position. It'll make you more effective down the road. So once I've locked my heel to the back of the knee, just like in the other technique, I'm gonna do the same finish. I'm gonna pop up to my knee, and I'm gonna roll around the leg. Back mount, I can attack. Here, now we gotta think about, so first you were here, let's turn you like this, so your head will be on this side, your legs will be on this side. Yep, would that make the most sense? Actually, you know what, put your legs towards the camera, because that way I can show the locking effects. There's gonna be a lot of switching in this one. You should be able to perfectly see how I hook the leg in this angle. So I'm here, I pummel my top arm through, I'm gonna grab his hip, and I'm gonna back my elbow up to the armpit. I'm gonna bring my hip in, almost like I'm trying to go under him, and I'm gonna push myself backwards. I'm nice and low, I'm nice and tight to the body. My foot is prepared for him trying to bridge or move. I'm just waiting here. I'm gonna push this top leg down. When I push this leg down, I'm keeping it on the mat. If he doesn't do anything, I'm gonna step my foot over and mount him, or I'm gonna put my foot in my hand and go to the mount. When this leg comes up, I'm gonna pull it down just enough, not straight down, outward and down so that I can lock my heel in. From here, we could full lock, we could come up and control this leg, but we just wanna learn the roll. So I have my foot in position, I'm gonna come up, shoulder, up, back mount. I'm trying to do this as slow as possible because in an actual match, you're gonna see me do these rolls incredibly quick. I just right around and I have the back, but it would be really difficult to understand. Don't worry about speed at all when you're practicing this at home. Just go nice and slow and try to feel, okay, when I invert and I'm upside down, when is the right time to kick my leg? Not only when is the right time, what angle do I kick my leg at? When do I turn the hip? You have to figure out those details. Okay, so the last angle we'll show it from like the back side. So put your legs this way. Okay, so here, right, like this, arm comes through, hip, back up, Master Perez brings his leg, I push it down, here, lock, this, look it, from here, this is where I want you guys to learn. I'm gonna draw like a circle towards his head, and I'm gonna kick my leg, here, and we're able to go right into our attacks. Make sense? We'll do 3 more real quick, and it'll be with going to the twister, like Master Perez suggested, okay? So just put your legs this way. Do the same 3 here, like this. Out, back up. He brings the leg. Push it down, up. Same thing, except the only difference, the second I shoot through, look where my arm went. It's like I'm covering Master Perez's head. As I come around, I put the bite on his leg, top of the head, match is over. You know what? We're perfect right there, just from this.
Yep.
Perfect. Like this, hand shoots back up, brings the leg, push it down, make the connection. See how my knee is in the hip? My foot has control of the back of his knee. Upside down, as soon as you start to go, where does my arm go? Through. If I get my arm in this gap, I know as I square up, I'm gonna have it tight, and I'm gonna get the finish. Last time. Let's go. Throw your legs this way. We'll do it as far back from the camera as possible, and hopefully If we didn't give you the angle that you were looking for at home, I apologize. There's a lot of movement in these, and like I said, we have no scripts for these videos. So here, this, back up, press it down, control. Once I have the control, upside down, right now, as soon as I clear his butt over. So watch, as he's clear, look at my right arm. Here, I know I have my arm on the inside. Make the lock, got it. A lot of flipping and rolling and twisting. Ninja rolls. Anything that you feel that you would have a question about with this, or any breakdown that we could have gone further into? And remember, I'm not showing the full lock-in, like how, because I can use my arm to control your other. First, we want people to learn the feel, how they move.
Well, the reason also I like them to understand is when you go with the side control, you push your body and you get my arm away from the game. Because if I sneak my arm in there, I can maybe flip you over.
Yeah, that's a great point, actually. If you guys notice, when I'm going to the reverse side control, right, and I'm here when I pummel this through, I don't just try to drop onto my side, because if I start to drop, Master Perez still has this frame here, and now this can create problems. He can try to hit me back with this. He can use this to try to escape. If you notice, when I go to this position and his arm is still here, I cover his legs first, here. So now his arm is behind my back. Once his arm is behind my back, I push my body up to force his arm to be stuck. So if we turn him, your partner should look like this. See how the arm is wedged up behind the head? That's where you want to be. When you initially turn, what Master Perez was talking about is if you were here and you bring this arm through correctly and you just try to turn, they still have that frame on the inside. They're going to be able to create space. So it's very important when I turn that I do this. See how I'm down low? And then I drive my body up to get to this position. I think that's a great point. Really good point to cover.
Because I can sneak my
Yeah, because you
elbow there.
want that frame in. Anytime my opponent can on the bottom, they want to have their frame inside. So if I can disable that frame, I'm more effective. And I did the same thing on the other side. When I have my hand and I pummel through, I'm just cutting this frame out. And then I'm dropping to the hip and then pressing myself back. Okay, so we're gonna show 3 more. The next one we're gonna show is gonna be from a guard, from like an arm drag setup. Okay, so I'm gonna try to show you like one from a bunch of different situations. We showed you a mount, that was side control. I'm gonna show you 2 variations from the guard, and then I'll show you like a really high level, like when you're trying to pass the guard one, okay? Which you may not be ready for it yet, but once you master the 4, it'll be a fun one for you to put in your arsenal. Okay, so I'm in the closed guard, Master Perez is on top. So you just go up to your knees, right? You should probably have an arm drag in your game. Oh, let's back up just to make sure we're on camera. And you know what? You go to this side. Here we go. Okay, you should probably have an arm drag in your game if you're watching this video. If you're already looking at twisters, you know what an arm drag is. So my opponent's weight is in his butt, his knees are wide, he's sitting down, and I can't break my opponent down. This is a lot of times where the arm drag will come into play. I'll drop my hands to the mat, and whichever side I'm gonna arm drag Master Perez on, I'm just gonna tuck my other foot in. So if I'm here like this, as I push myself up, my other leg drops in. From there, I control the wrist. I'm gonna shoot my hand to Master Perez's tricep, and I never pull. Because if I just pull, I might keep his arm around my body and pull myself back to the ground. I don't wanna do that. What I'm gonna do is, once I have the wrist in here, I'm gonna bump Master Perez to separate his grip, and then I'm gonna drag him across my body, like I'm trying to cover the back of his arm with my chest. I pull him to the point where I feel his forearm hit the ground, and then I go here, right? Normally, if this was just a class to take the back, we would come up, we would put our hook in, and we would attack. But we're doing twisters, right? So let's back it up just a little bit. You're gonna end up in this position. We're gonna turn our right arm, and we're gonna face just our opponent's legs. So watch my arm, I'm gonna turn, and I'm gonna buckle my arm in so I'm facing just his legs. My foot is still tucked in on his leg here, initially where it was. My foot's on the inside, my foot's here. I'm gonna grab Master Perez's left foot, and I'm gonna push off that foot to turn him to this position. Once I have this position, does this look familiar? This is the calf slice. The same calf slice you guys learned is right here. So if the calf slice is here, that means as I kick this leg, if I just keep my arm in the front, you have your twister entry. You're gonna go there, you're gonna pull, you're gonna finish. Okay? So it might be difficult if you're not ready to do this technique yet, but once you are, this will make sense. It'll be easy to understand what we're doing.
Yeah.
Let's show it from the backside angle.
Okay.
I feel like that might help. So we'll go like this. Okay, same thing. I can't break my opponent down. I decide I want to look for an arm drag. My hands hit the mat. My hands hit the mat because he's not going to be touching the mat. So I'm putting my hands on the mat so I can create space. I'm going to bump my butt back as my hook drops in. I'm doing this. Okay, I never pull until I bump. Bump and then pull. So if you see here, I'm going to go this. This is where I want to get to. So if Master Perez tries to pull his arm back in front of me, I have it blocked by my chest. If I leave my chest loose or if there's any space and he can get the arm, now I have to reset. So when I drag, I use my chest. But now I want to go, I don't want to try to take his back. I want to do the twister. I turn, I face this way. Yeah, this would be the right angle, they can see.
Yeah.
So my foot is here. I'm going to control his foot and I'm going to push myself backwards. So I'm going to rock back and then step. Kick it over, block Master Perez's head, come through, twister. Last angle, what should we show? Maybe with you, this side maybe?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think this side.
Yeah.
Okay, so last time, and again, I apologize if our angles aren't great. Here like this, bump, pull, I'm here, turn, got this, pull, here, kick, you have the twister entry, finish.
Oh, we almost finished in the same angle.
I know, I saw
Yeah.
that. One more maybe?
Yeah.
Should we do it just from the exact opposite side like this?
Yeah, the opposite side.
Okay. Here, up, here, right? We're covered, we're ready to go. Turn, face the leg. Control the foot and try to open his hip. Open. Kick, here, pull.
Good.
Yeah, no questions, simple, right?
Yeah, it was simple.
Like I said, if you're not ready for this, just go back a lesson. Now let's go to the rolling across the top. I'm only going to show that 2 times because it's just a variation of this one.
Mm-hmm.
It's the exact same move, except instead of pulling you towards me, I'm going to go up and across. Okay? So from that position, sometimes you'll find that you can't really get the person to come back. Okay? So same thing that I just did. I arm drag here. I find that I can't get him to come back. By the way, if I start to pull and my opponent won't come back, sometimes you'll see me double commit to this. So you feel that, Mr. President?
Yeah.
As I start to go here, I have the calf slice. I can make my opponent turn with the calf slice. You don't have to rely on them coming back because of this. I don't need to push off the mat to pull him. If he's like really putting his weight down heavy and not letting me, I can fully commit to this. You feel that, Master Perez? So as I start to go, Master Perez is forced to turn because I have the calf slice already. So I can pull and look to finish. Or I can kick and look to go into the twister series, right? The second variation that we'll show, come up and turn your butt towards the camera. Yep, from here, that people used to do is they would come up, and then instead of trying to go backwards, they would just control here and roll over the shoulder. Over, here. Same thing. Kick, up, twister, finish. Let's show it from a complete opposite angle. Here, like this, we're in an arm drag position. Remember, it wouldn't even have to be from closed guard. In theory, if he was on his knees, I could arm drag, you can just be on your, yeah, if we're here and we're grappling, we could do this from here. It's the same thing, right? I'm gonna turn you a little, or I'm gonna hit the camera. Right there, I could fall back, right? We could go here and pull back. We could go double on this and pull back, or we can roll. Roll, here, got it. Through, finish.
To the ninja roll.
Yes, ninja roll, okay? So that's the variation. I gave you guys 3 options there. You can just rock back the first way. That's the one that I do the most often. You can fully commit to the calf slice. Double up, you have the foot, rip back, stand on your own foot, and you're applying a calf slice to make the opponent turn. Or if that one doesn't work, or if you're just trying to have a little fun with it, you can jump up and across and look to roll through. There's also a wrestling style variation where you can just attack the upper body and try to pull them back. And there's a couple other variations with the upper body, but I'm just showing the ones that I feel will help you learn the rolling mechanic more and that are still effective. Okay, like wrestlers back in the day, they always, when they had the one hook in, so you just go to your knees. When they had the one hook in, right, wrestlers would, from here, start attacking this arm. And the goal was to rip this arm back to then drop back and look to finish. You can absolutely do that. I still see people that'll be up here looking on the chest and the neck, and they'll just pummel this arm through and start attacking the arm. That's fine. I could post my foot on the far side then and peel and work on this arm and do the same thing that we would normally do and come right back and look to finish. That's okay. It's not that you can't do that, but during teaching this class, I don't think that'll help you with your rolling mechanics. I don't think it'll make you understand the position better. And that was my main focus here today. All right, so the last one I'm going to show, which is super high level, you should only be practicing if you have the first 4 down and you truly can say, I understand the twister roll. Otherwise, the next part is just going to be a mess for you. You won't be able to, understand what's taking place. So I have a fancy guard pass that I use that I've never really seen anyone else do, but I'm going to show you guys in this video. A lot of times when I'm controlling hooks here, there's so many ways that Master Perez can attack me with his feet. There's pressing, there's hooks, there's De La Riva guards. There's so many options, right? And this is a common problem in jiu-jitsu. Now, one of the most basic solutions is the idea that always come in staggered and look to cut, look to knee slice, look to leg drag, right? But with that being said, I like to catch people off guard. It's just a part of my jiu-jitsu. So what I'm gonna do is normally I'll have the opponent's feet and I'm gonna lower my base and switch my grip. So if you notice, I'm gonna go from, I have a regular grip on his feet and I don't want him controlling my feet. If he has my legs, then I'm gonna be real careful. I'm gonna work on getting my feet free first. But if I have his feet, I'm gonna show it slower this time. I usually press down because it gives him to start pushing up a little. He doesn't want me to push his feet to the mat. So as I start to press down, I drop and I switch my grip. You notice I went from fingers top to fingers bottom. Once I can make this grip, this is an incredibly hard grip to deal with. Because regardless of how Master Perez pushes and turns, I can steer his legs and start crowding his back. Once I get behind his back, roll through, right? No matter where it is, I have the advantage. I use this guard pass a lot with people that have super crafty guards. If you have a dangerous guard, this is probably what I'm gonna try to do to you, to not let you have a guard. Because people with their legs, they get so effective. They get to the point where the tiniest little mistake, you're gonna end up on your back. Okay, and we don't want this. So right when I recognize this person has a great guard, I press down, I feel him start to lift his feet, I drop, I make the grip that I want. This grip is incredibly controlling. Fight your legs free. Right? I can just steer him because however he engages his legs, his hamstrings start to engage and then I just steer them where I want them to go. And a lot of the times I won't even pick a side. I just stack the opponent up and then I crowd their back. So once I'm here and he moves, turns, twists, I get to pick when he goes and then I can pass his guard. Makes sense? And I can teach you guys, I can teach a whole hour class on just how to use that pass. It's not what we're gonna do today, but if you don't understand how to create this initial grip, you won't be able to do the next one that I'm gonna show. Okay? So I think it'll be best if I turn you like this and I'll just scoot back a little bit. There you go. That was good core work. Do you see that? Okay, so I'm gonna be here. I'm gonna do the exact same thing. I'm gonna press down. He starts to press up. I'm gonna drop and I'm gonna get this grip. Now, once I have this, you'll see me come back to my feet and I'm gonna steer him towards one side. Like I'm trying to drive his knee a little bit towards the mat. I have to fall onto my hip on the side that I want to trap. That's the hardest part about this. The knee presses forward, hip. Now, if you have great dexterity in your legs, you can try to throw your foot over. I never try to do that. Once I throw myself onto my hip, I block the opponent's leg and I kick my foot over. That's my goal. If I can get the foot to come over, now I'm gonna have the lock that I'm gonna need to go into the rest of the move. Okay? So I'll show you guys this here. And you can do this without the pass. you can just shoot it in and go right to this, but it takes a lot of skill, right? If you try that right away, you probably won't have the kick to get it, but then I can go into my twister here, right? So I want you to take it one step at a time. Do it like a series. I'm here, trying to pass the guard. My feet are loose, I'm worried here, press. That's step one, right? So I drive his leg up towards his chest, and I'm gonna slide my hip like I'm trying to go under Master Perez. Foot, kick. Free your leg, Master Perez. That's all I need to accomplish. From there, you guys can lock a grapevine, or you can just step on your heel. If you step on your heel and you kick your leg away from your body, you'll turn your opponent right to the position you want to be. Or, as you kick your heel, shoot your right arm across. What do we have? Every move we've learned. Twister, anything else that we need to use, okay? So I'll show this 2 more times. I think this is gonna be the best angle. I think the other angles won't really make sense. Okay, here, I'm ready, right? I got it. I push the knee, right? And I slide to the hip. Here, step, kick. Free your leg, right? Step on the foot. Kick, up, pull his hip, look to attack, go. Okay, this is definitely the highest level one you've learned today. If you're struggling with this, come back to it. Come back to it in a month, 6 months, a year, okay? Here, we can be like this, like this. I'm gonna drop down, got it. I got the grip I need. Slide to the hip, leg, kick your foot through. That's the key. If you make this kick correctly, you have the rest of the attack. If he tries to turn or square up towards me or anything like that, as long as I keep control of the knee, I'm gonna have it. If I don't control the knee, if I have like the calf or something here, he might be able to free this leg. Yeah, and now I lost everything. But if I get the knee joint, even with only one for your leg, right? I have this is everything, guys. You just gotta get the knee.
Yep.
Once you have the knee, you kick, go into any submission you want. Final time, and then I guess just any questions that people have.
Yeah.
So here, and remember, you can do this without changing your grip. I'm just showing the way that I like to. You can just slide and try to go right to it, okay? But I'm showing you the way that I've always found more success. Here, and remember, you can pass. Don't forget a good guard pass, right? Hip slides, look at my right foot, in, got it. This kick, up, boom, attack. Questions?
That's gonna be complicated. I mean, it's gonna be
very
hard
tough.
for-
Like I said, unless you're a really high level grappler,
Yeah.
that's not the answer for you. I just wanted to show
Yeah.
high level jiu-jitsu is great. It's good to see, it's good to experience, it's good to kind of understand what you're working towards, but don't get frustrated if you can't do that yet. Like that's one of the moves that when I throw that with confidence and I can hit it a lot in a live match, but I'm not committed to whether I get it or not. If I miss it, I'm just gonna roll through, I'm gonna come back up, I'm gonna continue my guard passing. If you're still new in jiu-jitsu and you throw a wild move like that, you're probably gonna give away a significant advantage. And now that opponent ends up on top of you, and like that could cost you your match. That's one of the ones that if you're rolling with someone that you're significantly better than, or you're just trying to get in a session for learning, practice this every once in a while, and you can get better at it, right? Any other things that you can think?
No, not right now. Yeah.
So again, today was a high level class. This was ninja rolls to the twister to try to help your understanding of the truck, to help you understand how to manipulate the leg, right? Until you've mastered the twister series that we taught before this, I wouldn't worry about spending too much time with these moves. Or when you use these, use it to get to the back mount and then do our first class. Our first class was the rear naked choke and the short choke. Ideally, take the back in one of these ways and just use it to attack the neck. Finish the fight and be done. Once you feel like you have a twister in your game that you have a high level understanding of, then hit this roll, hit the twister, sign autographs and kiss babies after, because this is a high level aspect of jiu-jitsu, right? So probably our shortest video. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. We hope you appreciate these videos. If you have any questions on this or anything that you'd like to ask, feel free to reach out to me, reach out to Master Perez, and we're here to help you with your jiu-jitsu. Hopefully we're back to normal life soon. Our jiu-jitsu classes resume. When they do, remember you get a free week here. Brighton, Michigan, it's Scorpion Fighting System or the Michigan Institute of Athletics. We have every martial art. We have group fitness, private lessons, small group training, community events. We really have something for everyone here. So regardless of whether you're an expert, a professional fighter,
A beginner.
or a true beginner, you're walking in the door for the first time ever, we'll guide you through, steps towards your physical, mental, and technical growth.
Yeah, we were hearing comments that the ones that watching this video and they're working out with their girlfriend or their moms or their moms start liking it, right?
Yes?
Yeah.
Yeah, we've had a couple people give us feedback. We've only been producing these videos for a week now, and we've had some unbelievable feedback. We had people telling us that have never trained jiu-jitsu a day in their life that, hey, I watched your video and I couldn't believe that I could understand what was going on. Or anytime I had a question of, wait, why did you do this? You guys were able to break it down and make it make sense. So who knows, maybe we're going to have like a large influx of people that may have never attempted to train jiu-jitsu that seeing this video, they go, you know what? I'll give that a shot. Or maybe you were just someone's jiu-jitsu partner, like Master Perez said. Maybe you were just, your son's training partner. You got drug out on the mat so he could practice these different moves to you. And then you saw, hey, this is a sport that I'd like to learn. That's what we're all about here. We're a giant family that tries to work together so that we all improve. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. Come see me, come see Master Perez, and let's keep this thing moving. Thank you very much, guys.
Thank you.